Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm making this video in my office slash museum. So what I want to talk today primarily is spirituality and how it relates to the tool of money. In fact, I want to use, if I was to give a title to this video or the next couple videos on this subject, I would say it's the Sanctity of Capitalism. Now, I quoted that. I kind of invented that a while back, but if somebody else has used the term Sanctity of Capitalism, please let me know. Kind of almost an oxymoron in some people's minds immediately, but it isn't. For some of you that don't know, I am a minister, and I've been a minister for some time. And in these decades of practicing my faith, I've talked to a lot of different people in different religions. Some of them are my Buddhist friends, some are Christian, some are Jewish, and I think those are one of my best mentors. I have other friends of other faiths, and while trading information and learning more about each other, I learned that I actually read in their holy text, their Bibles, compared to the Christian Bible. In the Jewish old texts, I've seen this written, where it's instructions by the universe, by God, the spirit of all creation, saying how to properly use money. It's a spiritual, well, to be specific, my Jewish friend unfortunately passed away recently. She told me years ago, which stuck in my mind. It's amazing. Found it very profound and very ahead of its time, but this is really ancient information. And she gave me like 10 tenets, but I can only remember one of them. And the one that stuck out the most was, she said, we believe that money is inherently moral. And of course, when I first heard that, I'm like, inherently moral? It's a moral compass to it. Since then, I've used it over and over in my life, and it's been successful. It's been successful for many people I've talked to, even self-made millionaires and 1 billionaire that I've interviewed said they've used these techniques. And it boils down to about 5 universal spiritual laws to make and see that like some people might have a negative connotation or mindset to money. Like money's the root of all evil, money doesn't grow on trees. We know those old ones. Other people think that money corrupts, like because it's like absolute power corrupts absolutely. No, before I give you the laws I've seen, let me make it clear. Money is just a tool. It's nothing more than the microscope that I used in college, to look at amoebas. Nothing more or less than a cup of water on my desk. The camera we're looking through right now. It's just a tool. It's neither bad nor good. It's how it's used. Money is like alcohol. It amplifies the person who utilizes it. So if you're a very happy, giving person, we give you lots of money, become more of a philanthropist and a much nicer person than you can possibly imagine. If you're a nasty, cynical person, don't like the world, don't like people, well, if you give that person a lot of money, they're probably going to do a lot of things that you wouldn't want them to do with that money, and it won't be for the greater good. So it's just an amplifier. So these laws, thousands of years old, on all texts out there, all holy texts, and I kind of, distilled it down to 5 tenets or 5 declarations. The first one, this was told to me by a very successful minister down south. He said, if you're going to do money, if you're going to pursue money, if you're going to make a lot of money, whatever you're going to do with money, he said, make sure that, number 1, people come first, then the money. Always. For you philanthropists out there, or would be, or want to be philanthropists out there, you understand this. Yes, there's people out there who will make the money and hoard it and not share it and don't do anything for their fellow man. But these usually, history has shown they're looking over their shoulders. They're usually concerned about it being stolen. They're not happy or smiling when they're going to bed. And sometime later, if they're using the money in nefarious ways, they get caught eventually. But the money doesn't make them happy. I know a lot of people who have lots of money, and they didn't make them happy at all. Some, in fact, committed suicide. So if you put people first, if you make them the priority as you pursuing your wealth, your future and becoming rich investing, then you'll turn out much farther. You'll turn out much better. You'll become maybe even a pillar of the community. You'll become that person that everybody is inspired to copy, to use you as a standard, because the person comes first. That's the number one thing I've seen in many different books. And I'm not talking about business books. I'm talking about get rich books. I'm not talking about anything written by people who are wealthy. I'm talking about these are ancient doctrines. Okay. The second one, it says, plan, implant. This is kind of like you sow what you reap. I mean, excuse me, you reap what you sow. So you want to plant something. You are the planter. You have to plant. If you do not plant, you get nothing. If you do nothing and then expect the government to take care of you, you're going to get dirt. You're going to get mud. If you plant a certain seed of something, and providing you remember number one, it will flourish in ways you can't imagine. But the first part of that is plan. Now, on all businesses and all ventures, when you're acquiring wealth, they all talk about the business plan, some kind of business plan. In essence, it's saying, and this is what the old ancient texts say, the essence is don't pay for it until you know the cost, period. I don't care if it's real estate, if it's the stock market, whatever. Do not purchase anything. Do not plant anything. Do not go forwards until you know the cost. It's going to, and if the cost is not something that you find reasonable, don't plant. The third thing I've noticed out there, out of these spiritual universal laws, is debt. Get out of negative debt. Oh, there's two types of debt, by the way. There's positive debt, there's negative debt. For those of you who never heard of such a thing, negative debt it takes money out of your pocket. Positive debt puts money in your pocket. And those are the very wealthy practice using positive debt. But it all says in all these holy texts I've read, get out of debt as soon as possible. That is paramount. That is, I don't know why, it should be number one rule, but it's definitely get out of debt as soon as you can. The fourth one is develop high quality relationships. Now, studies have shown that people, their income is 10 to 15% near the friends they hang out with for the last decade. A lot of studies out there, go check them out. You will see them. They have been, this is going back again, thousands of years they kind of knew this or was taught to them this. But there are recent books written about, the research of it, that you are close to making the same amount of money that the friends that you have been hanging around with for the last 10 years. So if you're not making a lot of money, maybe you need new friends. Let's see, I think the last one, very important, save and invest. Save, what I mean by save is you got to be careful. I think I remember reading in the King James Bible, saving can be dangerous, or was it the Old Testament? You got to forgive me, so many. But saving, and just the sake of saving, is dangerous, because if you put money in your mattress and you leave it there 10, 20 years, it's actually worth less than what it was when you first put it there, because of inflation, because of how the economy changes and stock market changes. You don't want to just save for the sake of saving, or also known as hoarding. You want to take the savings of about minimum 6 to 1 year, so 6 to 12 months, and nothing more is needed beyond that. What's the purpose of saving 6 to 12 months of your, well, and we make it also clear, you want to save at least 6 to 12 months worth of what you need to pay your bills every month. So in other words, if you get sick, you lose your job, something happens to you, get into an accident, you have this buffer, you have this insurance for the rainy day. You have 6 months to get your stuff together to go back out there to replenish the savings account. But again, they say minimum 6 months and maximum 12 months, and you don't need more than that. If you can't get your stuff together in 12 months, something's wrong. So a saving account for rainy days, and it should take care of all you don't have to work for 6 to 12 months, and you'll still be paying your bills. So savings account. Now, once you've gotten your savings account, anything beyond paying yourself first, paying your bills, and paying Uncle Sam, which, by the way, is the order you should do it in. Pay yourself first. I know some of you, that's a weird concept as well. Pay yourself first, pay your bills, pay Uncle Sam. Whatever is left, you invest. Invest in anything and everything that you can imagine that you think will bring you wealth, and if not, passive income in the future. If you have any questions on any of these, please leave a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you like me to talk more specifically about any one of these topics, let me know as well. And with that, I thank you again for visiting me. Have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video.